What is up, guys? JaretCampisi. Welcome back to the channel. Today is super exciting for me because I'm going to be doing a first ride and review on this brand new 2019 Ducati Xdiavel S. This is the next bike we are using for our project bike build series. So we will be giving this bike away. It's also our first ever worldwide motorcycle build series, which means not only are we going to be giving away this custom motorcycle here in the US, we're also going to be giving away a second grand prize, which will be me buying you your dream motorcycle anywhere in the world. Details on how you can be signed up, entered to win these motorcycles and help support and make them all possible. Patreon.com/Campisi Customs is always the first link in the description below. Let's not take any more time. I want to ride this bad boy. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so I actually wanted to start this first ride off on the motorcycle because there's some pretty cool things about this bike. First off, this is your key right here. So it's keyless. You do have a little key that flips out for your gas tank, but other than that, you don't need to use the key at all. You just keep it in your pocket, and as long as it's close by, you can press this button right here, and then the dash lights up just like that. And then this dash is absolutely gorgeous. It has, you know, all kinds of stuff on there. We'll go over it once I'm on the road. It tells me my kickstand's down, put that up, that turns off, and then to start it, all we do is press this button right here. And there we go. You can see it only has 39 miles on it, so this thing is brand spanking new. Has a fuel gauge, which is freaking amazing, and a bunch of other amazing stuff. So let's just hop right out on the road here and take this bad boy for a spin. So one thing I do notice, you know, I'm not a cruiser guy. I don't ride cruiser bikes all that often, and technically this bike is classified as a cruiser, so you're getting a low seat height, which is really nice for short riders. You're getting forward foot pegs, which actually are very comfortable, and then you get these wide handlebars too, which are also very comfortable. At low speeds, the bike is just a little bit heavy, and by low speeds I mean like literally walking speeds. As soon as you get over 5 miles an hour, the first thing I noticed was how incredibly agile this bike is. And for what it is, being a 540-pound cruiser with a long wheelbase and a huge back tire, it makes no sense that the bike is as agile as it is. The other thing that I noticed immediately about this bike is how absolutely premium everything feels. This thing is just decked out head to toe, and of course it should be for $25,000 here in the US. This puppy better be premium. So standard modes that we've got on this thing, standard features I should say. You've got rider modes, so you've got 3 different rider modes. You can press the rider mode button right here. Let's see, that's to let you do it. There you go. You got sport, touring, and urban. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And it just changes all kinds of different stuff with the rider mode. Close the throttle. There you go. Hold it down. I'm in sport mode, which is high power. 156 horsepower to the crank. And it makes peak torque at 5,000 RPMs at right around 93 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot of torque. And that's why when you twist the throttle, it just goes immediately. And honestly, that's something as a sport bike rider, you don't get a lot of torque on sport bikes. So torque is a lot of fun, guys, especially for the street. And you know, I've only put 40 miles on this bike so far, but the first thing I've noticed, one of the big things I've noticed is how fun torque is. And like, no matter where you are in the rev range on this thing, you twist the throttle and it just freaking takes off. And thank God the seat is cupped the way that it is, or else you might go flying off the back of the bike. And the thing that Ducati nailed about this bike is the fun factor. On their website, they say it's low speed excitement, and that kind of got a chuckle out of that, because it's like, how the hell can you have excitement at low speeds? But I actually know, I understand what they mean after just a couple miles on this bike, because the thing that's fun to do and never gets old is twisting the throttle and then letting go. And hopefully you guys can hear the motor. Let me see if I can get my thing up here. But with that instant torque, and you get a ton of fun like right off the bat in like a split second, and then once you let off and you hear that engine boom, that's like boom, boom, like that right there, that back and forth is literally so freaking fun. And that's what they mean by low speed excitement. Let me get through this light here. It's so fun, that on and off. You can just do it all day, and it just puts a smile on your face every single time. And like I said, look at Look at the maneuverability of this thing. Look at the back and forth. That is insane. This is a cruiser motorcycle that weighs over 500 pounds, and it literally goes back and forth better than any sport bike I've ever done at low speeds like this. Part of that is probably because of how low you are on the seat and just the makeup of, I guess, how the engine is put together, where it carries its weight because it's so long and low. But it just doesn't seem like it should handle that well, and it's just crazy that it does. So let's go over the dash here. Full TFT dash. Like I said, fuel gauge, which is really nice. You got your gear indicator, your mile per hour, and then you have your RPMs across the top. This thing redlines at 9,000, almost actually 10,000 RPMs. Then it tells you your sport and road, your rider mode. Over here, you can get your trip meters, your range until empty. That's not correct yet because I haven't gone through a whole cycle of the gasoline. It also tells you your average speed. It tells you your miles per gallon. I'm currently getting just under 36 miles per gallon. And then it tells you your, I don't know what that is actually, your air temperature, 64 degrees right now in Southern California. Sorry to everyone who's in winter. And then your engine temperature, 204 degrees, and then it goes back to your total trip. So technically this bike is still being broken in, so I'm gonna definitely not thrash on it, but I do believe in spirited break-ins. That's how I break in all my motorcycles. They make more power on the dyno, and in my opinion, if you baby a bike, you should ride the bike how you're gonna ride it, you know, staying away from the red line and stuff like that. But this even has a Bluetooth mode where you can actually connect your smartphone or even your Sena right to the unit, which is freaking awesome. It's got daytime running lights. It also has, let's see, it does not have a quick shifter or a auto blipper, which I do believe it should have, and we're gonna put one on it for our series because I just love quick shifter and auto blippers. It also has machined aluminum mirrors. They do vibe a little bit, but when you got a 1260cc liquid cooled V-twin between your legs, you're gonna get a tiny bit of vibage. I don't get much vibage between the handlebars or on my hands, so that's not a problem. It's also incredibly smooth and easy to ride. Like, I actually couldn't believe when I pulled away from the dealership how smooth this bike is and how easy it is to ride. I told Christina she could easily ride it, and I think I'm gonna have her ride it just because I want her to ride this bike. She's still stuck on the sport bike kick. She's like obsessed with sport bikes, and I was trying to explain to her how much fun a bike like this is. And honestly, if I was gonna buy a bike for myself right now, this would be top 3 on my list. So look at that. I mean, it's just, you can have a ton of fun, and then you look down and you're not doing triple the speed limit like you would be on a super bike. By the way, this is Santa Barbara, California. That's the Pacific Ocean. Those are the Channel Islands, and this is why we moved to Southern California. Well, one of the many reasons, because I literally can now do all the break-in miles on the bike, and literally I couldn't ride this bike if we were still in Pennsylvania. It's 30-some degrees, snowing, freezing rain, God knows what else. And it's really nice to just be able to come out here and put 600 miles on the bike and be able to freaking enjoy myself. What is going on here? Let me get out of this. Let me get out of here before this happens. God, what a bike. Oh my God, it's so freaking awesome. So again, the way that this thing makes power, Ducati claims 156 horsepower at the crank. That's not to the wheel. We will be putting this on the dyno to find out exactly what it does stock. But the way that it makes power, it's so freaking fun. You're getting 73 foot-pounds of torque at 2,000 RPMs. That's ridiculous that it's that low and you get that much torque. And it's just so fun to ride. And like, the other thing that's crazy about this bike is, I've mentioned it many times, it's Ducati's fastest motorcycle, 0 to 60. They claim that it does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That means you're beating every single thing on the road, pretty much, unless it's a drag-specific bike or car. So we're talking like stock stuff you can buy from a dealership. You're beating the V4 Panigale, you're beating all the super bikes, you're beating like the Ferraris, you're beating Porsches, you're beating McLarens. Like, there's really nothing that's gonna hang with this. And a big reason is that it also has launch control. This button up here, it's launch control. When you press it, you can be at a stop. You have to be at a stop. You press it, it tells you to open throttle, full throttle, and then slowly let out the clutch, and it just sorts out everything for you, and it gives you perfect launches every time. And I can't even explain to you how fun that's going to be when I pull up next to like some guy on a sport bike, or God forbid a supercar, and he thinks he's a badass, and then I just absolutely destroy him off the line. Oh man, they're going to go home and cry, because they're going to be like, man, that guy kicked my ass, but he also was super comfortable and it looks awesome. Which brings me to my next point. I've gotten more looks on this bike in its stock trim than I did on my full carbon V4. That's cool, guy. Yeah, just come on right over into my lane. That's totally fine. Okay. And hey, thank God this has 1299 brakes on it. Embo M50 monoblock calipers up front on a cruiser. Yeah, those are the best brakes on any cruiser in the world, in case you were wondering. That's one of the upgrades you get from the S model. So I guess we should just we should just talk about what you get with the S model. So the S model gives you machined aluminum mirrors. It gives you those better brakes up front, those M50 monoblock calipers. It gives you that insane rear back tire that looks absolutely incredible, which we're going to be swapping out for a carbon wheel anyway. It gives you some machined aluminum pieces on the engines, and I think a different seat, and a couple other little bits and bobs like the daytime running light and some of the other Bluetooth features of the display there. I think it's worth it. It's about $5,000 over the standard Xdiavel, but if I was going to buy one, I would pick up the S model. Just bite the bullet. I mean, if you can spend $20,000, you should be able to spend $25,000. So the other thing is, people talk about the price of this thing. This bike, Ducati made this bike to compete with the Harley cruiser market. And if you look at Harley cruisers, something that's in this realm of size, weight, not horsepower, but you know, engine size, stuff like that, you're looking at $20,000, probably $18,000 and up on the Harley models. So considering that this is way faster, has way more electronics, in my opinion looks cooler. You also get cruise control on this, the launch control, all the different rider modes, ABS, traction control, cornering ABS, the full TFT dash. It's like a no-brainer for me. Why the hell would you buy a Harley over this? I mean, to me, Ducati just came out and just literally laughed at every single cruiser that's out on the market, and they said, hey, we're going to make a bike that looks better, is faster, handles better, has 40 degrees of lean angle, so you can go and carve freaking canyons with this thing if you want to, and you're super comfortable while doing it. And honestly, hats off to Ducati, because look at this. I could probably drive, and this is going to be a weird statistic for you guys, I could probably drive faster at low speeds on this bike than I could on the V4 Carbon, because you're just up so much higher, and you need a lot more space to go fast on that bike, if that makes sense. So for regular everyday road riding, you could literally destroy sport bikes with this thing. And for me, getting older, I'm 35 years old, you know, when I ride the Carbon V4 and other super bikes, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, wondering when I'm going to get pulled over by the cops and literally get my bike impounded, lose my license. On this thing, you can have plenty of fun and still be doing somewhere close to the speed limit, so that if you do get pulled over, you're not going to go to jail. And for me personally, that's a big thing. You know, I love what I do. I want to be able to continue to do what I do. And so one thing I will mention about this bike, I've been raving about it the whole time. I will tell you things I don't like too. One of the things that I don't like so far is the suspension. So if you can hear me on some of these little bumps and stuff, it's, you know, changing the inflection in my voice, and it is just a bit, it's not uncomfortable by any sense of the means, but I think it needs adjusted. It just comes a little bit too high sprung. It's just a Marizaki front forks and I believe, I can't think of the name right now. It's not Olin suspension is what I'm getting at, but I don't think it needs it either. Here's another beautiful view for you. Just coming up off Hendry's Beach, and we're heading into Hope Ranch here, where like Brad Pitt used to have a home. I think Oprah used to have a house in here. It's absolutely gorgeous development. Plus, I don't think cops are even allowed to come in here, so you can have a little bit of fun without. Listen to that. Oh my God. I hope you guys can hear that. I hope my microphone picks that up. Let me see if I can just stop here for a second. So this is a bone stock exhaust. my God, it sounds so good. It'll like popple, crack and popple and stuff too, especially when you put on like a Termi system or one of the exhaust systems. Let's give you a little pull here. Oh my God! Oh my God. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. That is so incredibly fun. I can't even explain to you how fun that is. And again, I look down and I'm only going 50 or 60 instead of 100, you know, or 120. It's such a good motorcycle. It really is. And for me, the riding position is really comfortable. I'm 5'10", 175 pounds, pretty average stature, and the foot pegs are in a good position for me. I can move around on the seat. I can lean forward. I can lean back. Again, it handles incredibly well. It has a 240 back tire. That's a pretty insane size back tire. And again, this bike was kind of dragster inspired, which is why Ducati did that dragster build that they did, that prototype bike, is because they kind of just went with the whole dragster theme of this bike. And that's why it's so fast in the 0 to 60. And I think that when we put the carbon wheels and we put drag handlebars and when we do the full titanium system and the sprint filter and the up map, I think this thing is going to absolutely destroy vehicles on the road, and all while being comfortable doing it and looking like a badass too. So look at that handling. What the hell, dude? That's not even, and these are some really tight turns, so it'll be really interesting to see how it feels around these, because I've been around these turns on a super bike too, and again, there's always a lot of dirt and sand and stuff, but look at that. You can just fucking just rip around turns. I need to get around this van badly. I could have probably, oh, look at that. Hey, appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Look at that. But look at that, man. The thing is it dives in, but it also holds the line really well, which doesn't make any sense when you got a wheelbase that's this long. Look at that. Like, it makes no sense. And look at the lean angle I can get on this thing. It's crazy. My pegs aren't even close to... Wow. I've been back these roads on sport bikes, guys, a lot, and this is more fun. I'm not even joking. It is seriously more fun. Don't pull out, don't pull out, don't pull out. Thank you. Wow. And obviously this bike's still breaking in. These tires aren't even scrubbed in yet, so I can't push it too hard, but man, I can't only imagine when this has an auto blipper on it and a quick shifter. Holy shit. And it's so easy on these low speed turns, man. It's crazy how fast it turns back and forth. You could take this to a track day and surprise some people, man. Look at this. And the brakes are so good. It just makes no sense to me. Ducati really has knocked it out of the park with this bike, and it's not a bike that people really even know about. It came out in 2016. Ducati didn't really market it that hard, and I don't know why they didn't, because it's a really special bike. I think the price range kind of puts it out of range for a lot of people, but if you're smart, you can go on Cycle Trader and you can find some of these used. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Wow, man, what a fun machine, dude. But yeah, you can find some of these used for, you know, mid 15, 17, 18, something like that. You can find some good deals on these, which for what it is, guys, I know it's pricey, but it is totally worth it. If you could rock something like this and you can afford it, go out and test ride one, because they are really, really fun bikes, and all your friends will love them. Every single person that I show this picture to, I say this is our next Build Series bike, whether it's my dad, my friends, everyone's just like, oh my god, that bike looks freaking amazing. Like, it has this universal sex appeal to it, you know, with a single-sided swing arm, and the way the motor is like the highlight of the bike. And man, every time you twist the throttle, oh my god. Oh my god, the front wheel is coming up on this thing. Well, there you go, guys. I really don't have much else to say. That's gonna do it for the 2019 Ducati Xdiavel S first ride. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Again, this is a project motorcycle. We're going to be customizing this bike over the next couple of months, and then we're going to be giving it away when we're done. If you want to be a part of that and see how it all works, head on over to the Patreon page. It's always the first link in the description below. Let me know what you think about the bike in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh man.